Hacky hack hack. A teen in Australia. Apple. A folder named Hacky hack hack. This is the image that stuck in reporting. It is a simple image. It is also alarming. A teenager reached into a company many call one of the most secure. He left behind that bluntly named folder as a kind of calling card. The name of the folder became the story's hook. Reporters noticed it in evidence. Police noticed it in evidence. The folder contained files and notes. Those files pointed to repeated access. They were not just curiosities, they were proof of a pattern. They helped make the case against the boy. They made the headlines around the world. The files and their labels sounded almost childish, but the impact was serious. Apple said it found the unauthorized access, contained it, and told police. It asks a hard question about talent and crime, you know. The offending began when he was very young. Reports say it began as early as age 13. He continued into his mid-teens. Some accounts place key intrusions in his 16 year. Court documents and reporting set dates. One timeline runs from June 2015 to November 2016. Other summaries say the boy accessed systems multiple times over about a year. By the time police looked, the intrusions had spanned years. Investigators traced downloads and logins. They matched files on Apple systems to material on drives seized at his home. The boy returned to the systems even after being blocked once. That pattern mattered to prosecutors and to Apple. This was not a single accidental entry. It was repeated access over months. It showed skill and persistence. It also showed a young person pushing technical limits. He did not use exotic zero-day exploits. He used false digital credentials. He made the servers think he was an Apple employee. He created identity tokens. He created authentication details. The method was about tricking trust. Apple's systems trusted its own credentials. He supplied convincing fakes. The servers let him in because they believed him. Reports say he launched a shell on Apple servers. That shell gave him a command line inside Apple's systems. From there, he could list files. From there, he could copy files. He could retrieve internal documents. He could retrieve keys. Short sentences explain it simply. He made fake credentials. He used them to request access. The systems accepted the request. Media reports list vastly different totals. Media reports list vastly different totals. Apple Insider and others reported about 90 gigabytes. Apple Insider and others reported about 90 gigabytes. Some outlets and court notes put the figure much higher. One report says up to 1 terabyte. The most widely cited number is 90 gigabytes. That figure appears in multiple news stories and court summaries. It included internal policies and security documentation. It also included authentication keys and configuration files. Other reporting says the total could have been as large as 1 terabyte. That larger figure came from summaries of seized material and investigative notes. Whether 90 gigabytes or 1 terabyte, the files were sensitive. They included items Apple would never want exposed. The presence of internal keys alarmed experts. Keys can unlock systems. Keys can impersonate systems. Losing keys can be worse than losing text. Section 5. What police seized? Police executed a search warrant at his home. They took multiple devices, 2 laptops, a phone, a hard drive. Those devices matched material Apple had flagged. Among the items was the folder with the obvious name. Police found files titled with hack notes and methods. One report mentioned a folder called Hacky Hack Hack Methods Exclude. Those files stood as direct links between the boy and the intrusion. Investigators copied everything. Forensics tied files on the seized drives to copies on Apple systems. That chain of evidence supported the case. The physical seizure made the electronic trail concrete. Police involvement was not local only. Apple reported the intrusion to law enforcement. The AFP led the search. Section 6. Apple and international response. Apple said it discovered the unauthorized access. It also said it contained the intrusion. Apple reported the matter to law enforcement. That is a standard corporate step. The AFP handled the domestic investigation. The FBI joined because the target was a US firm. International agencies coordinated information sharing. The case wound across borders in procedure. Apple's security teams moved fast. They cut off the accesses, they rotated keys, they tightened controls. Those steps limited exposure. Public statements from Apple were short. They did not detail what was taken. They focused on containment and reporting. That is common in corporate security incidents. The boy's lawyer argued he wanted a job. He admired Apple. He hoped the intrusion would show his skills. He dreamed of working there. Defense compared the case to other instances. In Europe, a hacker once ended up employed after an intrusion. The lawyer argued the teen did not plan harm. He wanted recognition, not destruction. That defense mattered in court. It framed actions as misguided ambition. It asked for leniency given age and intent. It suggested a path to legitimate work instead of crime. Critics say admiration does not excuse breaking the law. Companies rarely respond positively to unauthorized access. But the story raises questions about ways to recruit talent. Did the boy see no other path to show what he could do? You know, it's a thorny question. He pleaded guilty to multiple hacking charges. He faced the youth court in Adelaide. Magistrate David White heard the case. The hearing was concise and focused. The court did not record a conviction. The boy received a $500 fine. He was placed on a 9-month good behavior bond. That outcome keeps a formal conviction off his record. Magistrate White addressed the boy directly. He told him to use your gifts for good rather than evil. That sentence was reported widely. It summed up the court's view of skill and choice. Reporters noted the sentence's lightness. They also noted the evidence and seizures. 2 laptops, a phone, a hard drive. The case closed with an eye toward rehabilitation. Experts say boundary pushing is common in youth. Some teens test systems to learn. They often seek recognition challenge. They may not fully grasp consequences. Privacy and security scholars point to potential. A young coder can become a valuable defender later. Prison can waste that talent, some experts argue. Rehabilitation redirection. Dr. Suelette Dreyfus and others note patterns. Many who pushed limits then grew into constructive roles. That perspective influenced public debate in this case. It also influenced the light sentence handed down. But the risks are real. Accessing keys company secrets can cause harm. Not every company will tolerate or reward such acts. The balance between learning and criminality is brittle. The legal outcome was lenient. The magistrate saw talent. He urged better choices. The boy left without a recorded conviction. Public reaction was mixed. Some praised the chance for rehabilitation. Others worried the message it sent about consequences. Companies can read the verdict either way. This case leaves a clear question. Should firms hire demonstrable talent who crossed a red line? Should they prosecute and punish harshly to deter others? What model best protects security and fosters future defenders? What should companies do? Open bug bounty programs and clear paths to employment? Or lock doors tight and call the police at once? Which approach creates safety and nurtures skill? Use your gifts for good rather than evil, the magistrate said. Now ask yourself, talent versus crime. What should companies do? Should they punish, pardon, recruit? Where would you draw the line?